Hey everyone, it's me, Jason again. Tonight I will be discussing the themes of identity and racist stereotypes, and those themes are portrayed in the graphic novel that I've read, American Born Chinese. American Born Chinese is a graphic novel written and illustrated by Jean Luen Yang, and the themes of identity and racist stereotypes are truly portrayed in that, and you find those themes, especially in the stories of Sun Wukong, Danny, and Jin Wang, and the supporting characters that are in each of those stories. I should mention that the graphic novel is basically written in three parts, three main stories with three parts for each one of them. And in the story of Sun Wukong, the theme of identity is really shown as, in the beginning, he was a monkey king, and when he went up to high up into the heavens, there was this dinner party they wanted to go to, but they didn't want to let him in because one of the guards basically told him that even though you may even be a deity, you're still just a monkey, and so that forces him to rebel. Or in this case, for him, literally he attacks everyone. He's basically an OP character. And from there on, that basically starts him on a path of, I guess, self-rejection, because later on he transforms himself from a short monkey into like a tall humanoid-looking one that also wears shoes, as the thought of his feet, which are like monkey-like, just remind him of the rejection and everything that he doesn't like in a way. And then he just learns all these different martial arts techniques, such as the changing his size technique, where he can go from small to big, or whatever size he imagines. He also has the technique of where his hairs can become little clumps of them. He learns a bunch of techniques, and he even puts himself in his own cave for, I believe, somewhere between 35 to 45 nights. Just to learn these techniques and become even better. And it's also shown in the titles that he gives himself, as he starts out as the Monkey King, and then he goes on from that to a whole different title as the Great Sage Equal to Heaven, which is, in my opinion, a very cool name. And that's just showing how he's viewing himself as someone even greater than the people that the deities that rejected him. And he has to be humbled by, I guess in this case, the Chinese God, like how the Christians have God. There's a Chinese God. I believe the name is Zhao Yan. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on that one. But anyway, he becomes so arrogant that when the God told him to be himself, he rejected that, and then he went literally past the bounds of reality to 5 pillars. And on one of those pillars, he makes markings and pees on it. And then when he comes back to God, or the old man, and he tells him that he escaped him, but he didn't. Because God showed him that he showed his finger, from which it had the pee and the markings. We were showing that all he did is really just go to his fingers of his hand. He can't ever escape his grasp, as he is the creator of all. He knows who he truly is. And after that, he wants him to walk with him, but Sun Wukong just keeps rebelling, being a bit arrogant, and so he traps him under a pile of rocks for the next 500 years, where the only way he can escape is because of this monk who is going on this journey and the monk tells the Monkey King that the only way that he can get out is to change back into what he truly is, that small Monkey King that he was at the beginning, and that it is his true identity, and it's basically showing that he was rejecting that, and that's kind of how it is in real life for others, how they reject their identities because the world or other people are telling them that that's not who they should be. Possible. And the story of Jin Wang and the story of Danny are, which those two stories are really one, but they're also separate at the same time. They are also a parallel of the Sun Wukong story, as technically Danny and Jin Wang are the same person. Danny is the American version of Jin Wang, the actual person, and that kind of mirrors how Sun Wukong went from just the Monkey King to this tall humanoid great sage equal to heaven. I mean, because in the end of the story, it's shown that Jin Wang and Danny are the same person, as Danny has to change back to Jin Wang because once again those racist stereotypes play a very huge role with the theme of identity in Jin Wang and Danny's story. As with Danny, he changes because with him, his cousin Chinky is he's a character who's basically the physical manifestation of those racist stereotypes of an Asian, or I guess Chinese, who is good at school, terrible English, saying like, "Oh, very good." Please don't cancel me. Sorry. That's basically how the character Chinky speaks. But those racist stereotypes really play a huge role, especially with instances of, in elementary school with the character Jin Wang, where one of those other kids at elementary school asked him if his family ate dogs, or when Jin Wang is older I believe middle school, when they're getting close to high school, where one of his supposed friends, a white boy, who is a friend of the girl that he's trying to go out with, Amelia, the boy, asks him if he can do this favor of not asking out Amelia again because he's worried about the image that's going to be portrayed because of Jin Wang going out with her, and he doesn't want her to be associated with that. Wants to be something else. Once again, obviously the racism, the stereotyping of obviously him being different from them. It really affected him, and that really affected his perception, because he's just starting to think maybe if he looked a bit more like them with blonde hair, or if he was different, maybe then he could probably have things go a different way. And that's kind of similar to the real world, how people want to be accepted, they want to fit in, but if people just reject telling them that they should be something else. And obviously there's still a lot of work to do to overcome just challenges, but really it's a journey of self-acceptance. As near the end of the story, Jin Wang, Danny has to change back into Danny turns back into Jin Wang because of his cousin Chin Ki, who, as I mentioned before, literally a physical manifestation of those racist stereotypes, such as the not speaking good English, the Chinese outfit, the closed long eyes, sort of the buck tooth. I didn't really know. No, that was a stereotype of Chinese, among other things. As once again, those stories are all coming together because it turns out Chin Ki is actually Sun Wukong. And in terms of self-acceptance, he literally tells him to change back as it is his true identity.